A local family encountered new challenges when their 2-year-old son was diagnosed with diabetes. How they're doing now, 6 years after diagnosis. Plus, the holidays are inching closer. We're going to share how to have a germ-free Thanksgiving at home in just 3 easy steps. And lifestyle expert and author Sydney Sadix talks about her new book about how you can achieve your goals. That and more today on Houston Life.
Is that for real?
Live from Studio B at KPRC Channel 2. Houston Life starts now.
And welcome to Houston Life. I'm Courtney Savala.
Hi, Courtney. I miss you. I'm Derek Shore here at home in Studio LR, Studio Living Room. Today is Tuesday, November 10th, if you can believe it. And Courtney, it made me realize I haven't seen you since Halloween. That feels like last year already.
It does feel like last year. That's the longest we've ever gone. I need to see you in person. How are you feeling? How's Brando?
Actually, I think when you were working from home for, I don't know, 5-6 months, I'm pretty sure that was the longest we went. But that's okay. This feels like an eternity. We're doing fine here. We're just going a little stir crazy, and the no booze situation, I'm telling you, things got really real.
Okay, you didn't get that fixed? Come on, there's delivery for that kind of stuff. Contact lists.
I know.
Okay.
We'll sort it out, don't worry.
I'm going to work on a White Claw delivery for you. It's going to happen. Okay, before we sort that out, I know, doesn't that sound good? We need to turn to Joe and Lauren to see what they have cooking up for today's show. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Courtney, Derek. Of course, we are excited about this year because I got a chance to actually speak to 2 Houston locals who's putting together an amazing movie, Courtney. Now, I have to tell you something. They are the director and executive producer. This movie is called Narcos. It's going to give you some action. It's going to give you drama. You can see it there with the flips and cartwheels and everything that they were doing in there. We have a lot of local talent from Houston that's also in this movie. But I will say this. No more stunts for me, Courtney, at all. I tried it out myself, including the director and the producer. They did some flips too. I'm not letting anybody flip me around anymore. Okay,
well, can't wait to get more on that story from you coming up in just a little bit. And Lauren, you are at one of my favorite places. I love the Houston Zoo, but Zoo Lights is one of my favorite attractions.
Absolutely, you guys. And the only people doing flips here are the monkeys. The Houston Zoo Lights will begin this weekend, and we are giving you a first look at how the park is set up for social distancing. There's lots to do. All the things that you love about Houston Zoo Lights will still be here, and they kick off this Saturday. More about that and the adults-only brew lights a little bit later on in the show. Courtney and Derek, back to you guys.
All right, we'll see you guys in just a little bit. It's definitely hot outside. We'll see you guys in just a little bit. You know what, Derek? I put on my combat boots today and my sweater, and I am sweating. Thankfully, it's nice and chilly in the studio. But another really cool story. I know you're a big fan of Miss Dolly Parton. I have to tell you, I saw this over the weekend. USA Today did their cover. She's on the cover of USA Today's Best Years. And this is really taking a look at people of life over 50. And of course, Dolly Parton, she is 74. Look at this iconic photo. I mean, she just doesn't age, right? I mean, she talks about everything that she does to stay young. But she is so fantastic. And she says she is living her best life. And I know that you're a big fan, Derek. Let me just run through a few bullet points. You know, she started playing guitar at just the age of 7. She has written more than 3,000 songs, released 50 studio albums, 25 #1 hits, 9 Grammys. Do you know what's mind-blowing to me, though? Like, we know all of her favorite, her favorite songs, all of her songs that she wrote, right? 9 to 5, Jolene, the list goes on and on and on. Do you know what song she wrote years later didn't even become a hit until years later? Do you know?
Well, I know that she wrote I Will Always Love You that was really made popular by Whitney Houston, but is that it? Or is there another one? Because I know she's written so many. That's it? Yeah,
that's it. Because she actually wrote that in 1974. And it wasn't a worldwide hit until 1992 when, of course, Miss Whitney Houston sang it. But I remember being blown away when I heard that she wrote that song. I had no idea. I just love Dolly Parton. I love her real talk, how she just is, you know, it is what it is, the bigger, the better. I love her.
If you haven't seen her in concert, by the way, and Courtney, I think you have, but to our viewers, go see her in concert. She's one of those people larger than life.
Yeah.
We just sort of expect that she's always going to be around. She'll probably live for another 100 years. But I remember the first time I saw her in concert, and I loved that she was just so honest and real, unapologetic about who she is, wearing her faith on her sleeve. The story about growing up really in poverty with all her brothers and sisters in the Tennessee mountains. Yeah, and that song, Coat of Many Colors, about the coat that her mom made out of rags. Oh my gosh, I found myself sobbing one moment in that concert, but also laughing. I remember something she said, something about all the work that she's had done. And she's like, well, I mean, can you blame me? God didn't invent plastic surgeons just so they could starve.
I mean, they got to work. Got to earn a living. And over the weekend, you know, over the summer, we went to Dollywood when we were in Tennessee for Connor's World Series tournament. And I'm not kidding you.
When you saw that bear.
Yeah, when we saw the bear, you're right. And I got to tell you, walking through Dollywood, it is the cleanest amusement park I have ever seen in my entire life. But literally, walking around with my mask and the boys, and I was looking at every single person that walked by because I thought, is that her? Is that Dolly? Is that her? Because I thought for sure I'd run into her. I mean, I don't know why. But over the weekend, though, the Dollywood Christmas movie was on Hallmark Channel. I watched it. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, that is a good one. I think she did a network special that aired sometime last year. Hopefully she's watching Houston Life right now. Dolly, we love you. You got to come visit us in Studio B at some point. Wouldn't that be great if we had Dolly on?
I think we would then make it.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, I mean, talk about a shining example of just being inclusive.
Yes.
And she has such a broad fan range. Really is incredible. No one like her.
I know. I love her so much. I love seeing that article too. Such cool stuff.
So, Courtney, why don't we shift gears to one of our favorite topics, fast food. And I know people have already probably been talking about this, but it was just announced that McDonald's is exploring putting the McPlant on the menu. Did you hear this?
I have, yes. But tell me more, because I only saw kind of the headline. I didn't dive into it.
Well, I mean, you know, here at our house, we love houseplants, right? The McPlant is not actually a plant, but it is a plant-based meat product that they will be including in some of their menu items moving forward. And we've talked about this before on Houston Life. When I first moved to Texas and people found out that I primarily eat a vegetarian diet, a plant-based diet, some people responded like, oh yeah, you might not want to share that publicly here in town. And I was like, oh, why? What's
deep dark secret plant-based eating person?
And I know it's very ingrained in the culture for so many people, and we're seeing other fast food chains get on this plant-based bandwagon too. Like Pizza Hut, I think, is announcing they'll be serving a plant-based sausage pizza. And of course, Burger King, they have the Impossible Burger, which I've had. It's totally fine. But this is my question for you, though, because certainly growing up, I remember sitting around like the Thanksgiving table or whatever, anytime my uncles were around, and it was like, there was this idea that if you do not eat a ton of meat, that like you're less of a man. Have you ever heard people respond this way?
No. What?
You really?
You're less of a man?
This whole idea that it's like, oh, I'm a man. I gotta have my steak. I gotta have my burger. And even reading online the news of McDonald's, like the McPlant that they're gonna have on the menu, so many people's responses are, oh well, I'll stick to the regular burger. Guess what? You're not less of a man if you eat a plant-based diet. You're gonna be fine if you eat a pizza that has plant-based sausage on it. It is all gonna be okay. I promise.
By the way, have they ever heard of the guy named Tom Brady? Only an amazing athlete, right? I mean, I believe his whole diet is plant-based.
Yeah, down there in Tampa Bay, his new residence, of course, on his new team. Yeah, he's doing just fine. I mean, there are plenty of like MMA fighters who are 100% vegan. I mean, 100% plant-based. So anyway, I applaud McDonald's, even though I think the name is super weird, McPlant. We got to work on that name. But I am all for trying the burger. Here's my other thing. I will go through and get like an Egg McMuffin. There are very few vegetarian options out there. If you ask for an Egg McMuffin without the Canadian bacon, they don't credit you for the amount of Canadian bacon. You're still getting charged for the whole thing,
exactly.
right? So why don't we stop the discrimination while we're at it?
Oh, I love it. Orlando, you know, he has not eaten red meat in over a year. And I asked him the other day because I wanted a burger, and he was a big burger person, and he doesn't miss it. He doesn't crave it. He doesn't miss it. But we went out. He got a turkey burger, I think. He did get a turkey burger, but he gets a veggie burger. We've gone to the burger joint on Shepherd. They've got some great options. Hop Dottie has a really great veggie burger. I mean, I think it needs to evolve, and it has nothing to do about the manhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, for sure. And also on my mom's side of the family, genetically really high cholesterol.
Yeah.
So every year at my annual physical, my doctor's like, no smoking, no red meat, and you're good. You're not going to drop dead suddenly.
Right. Don't do any of those
and
things.
Nobody wants that, right?
No, nobody knows.
Don't do any of those things.
Speaking of plant-based,
Courtney, this makes me miss you even more.
I love your plant behind you, your single leaf. It's a plant, right?
Listen,
Lovely.
this is a Monstera leaf that I just clipped off one of the plants and put in water. It's been alive for like 2 months, just like that in water.
It's lovely. Lovely.
Well, thank you.
Okay, well, we need to get the show on the road here. And after the break, how one young man is breaking barriers and reaching for his dreams. This plus Lauren Kelly is live from the Houston Zoo with a first look at this year's Zoo Lights event. Stay right here. Houston Life returns in just 2 minutes. Back to Houston Life. Derek, I absolutely love this next story, and it gives me chills to even talk about it. There's an Iron Man story about a 21-year-old. His name is Chris Nickick from Florida. And I'm sure at birth, his parents were told so many things that this young baby, this young boy, would never be able to accomplish, that he had an uphill battle his entire life. He was born with Down syndrome. Listen to this. He had open heart surgery at 5 months old, didn't learn to walk until he was 4, and major ear surgeries when he was 17. Well, on Saturday, he crossed the finish line and made history as the first man with Down syndrome to complete an Ironman. Do you guys know what that is? It's a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile cycling leg, and then you finish with a marathon, a little over a marathon, 26.22-mile run. It is so incredible. And The finish time was 16 hours, 46 minutes, and 9 seconds. It was good enough to get him a spot, listing him in the Guinness World Book Records, and a salute from Special Olympics, which he has been involved with for a number of years. What an incredible young man and an incredible athlete. Have you heard about his story, Derek?
Yeah, and without question, he is such a role model for so many people out there. You know, our Uncle Sonny, Brandon's uncle, Sonny, has Down syndrome. My best friend Holly from high school has a Down syndrome child, and I think that there is unlimited potential for anyone, no matter how you were born, where you come from, and I think it's so great to see him excelling. I know for a lot of folks, when someone tells you you can't do something, that's even more motivation to say, you know what, watch me. And I certainly can think of a lot of times in my life where I felt like I just couldn't do something because nobody had done it that way before.
Right.
So what a shining example of perseverance we have on today's show.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, one of my very first friends as a child, she was our next door neighbor, Pat, Down syndrome. She was an incredible friend to me as a young girl, and also I have to read this one quote though before we get to our question of the day, because Chris basically talked to Runner's World last month before he ran the Ironman, and I have to read it though because you're going to love it. He says, "My dream, I have much more to accomplish. I have longer term goals. My dream is to buy my own house, buy my own car, and get a smoking hot blonde wife from Minnesota." Yes.
Wow.
I'm going to work on that
last
for him.
Part seals the deal.
Fix
He
him
can
up.
absolutely do all of those things. Go,
I loved
Chris.
it. Yeah, that is so awesome. So that brings us to our question of the day. What is something you accomplished when people said you couldn't? Let us know on social media. It's a really great conversation, and it may just spark some fire in someone else's belly. So it's a really incredible story today.
That is really, really cool, and we are very anxious to see our viewer responses, of course. We'll share those on the show.
Absolutely, that's coming up. And by the way, Derek, I know you love going to the zoo, especially this time of the year, and it's one of Houston's most well-loved traditions. It's back. Zoo Lights returns to the Houston Zoo starting on Saturday, and our girl Lauren Kelly, she's giving us a first look at this winter spectacular. Hey, Lauren.
Hey guys, you know, they couldn't not do Zoo Lights, right? It's one of the best, most spectacular things that the Houston Zoo does. And of course, giving us a first look at it is our very good friend, Jackie Wallace, who's walking us through the Enchanted Tunnel. Is that what I'm seeing here?
The Enchanted Forest.
Enchanted
We're in the Enchanted Forest.
Even better. So let's talk a little bit about how things are going to be running for Zoo Lights this year.
So while the weather doesn't quite feel like Zoo Lights, it's certainly looking like Zoo Lights around here. This year, of course, masks are required.
Okay.
We're also doing time ticketing. People are getting used to the way we're doing daytime time ticketing here at the Houston Zoo. We're taking that to Zoo Lights. So every 30 minutes will be a new entry slot that you can get. All tickets must be purchased at houstonzoo.org.
Okay, so what I want to reiterate is if you are here to see the zoo and the animals during the day, that's a separate ticket
sure is.
from Zoo Lights. So you've got the time sessions all figured out online. But then when you walk in the park, there's so much to see. The social distancing is perfect because look, we're just in one small area. You guys have never been here. Like, how many lights does the Houston Zoo put up?
So many, I think the astronauts can see us.
I for sure know that they can see them from space.
I hope so.
And so the Zoo Lights will kick off this Saturday, and then it runs through January 10th. So you have plenty of time to get out here, and you might even get some cooler weather while you're walking out here.
I hope so.
So I want to walk a little bit because some of the things that are different this year, you guys have bubbles, some bubble displays,
We have bubbles, and also it wouldn't be 2020, and nothing says Christmas holidays like dragons, right?
Of course, dragons and holidays are exactly what I'm thinking of.
The dragons were so popular this
there's
fall
a
and
dragon!
summer, so we kept them.
Yay!
I mean, and why not? It's 2020. You gotta, go
These
with it, right?
dragons are animatronic. Do they move and light up as well when the sun
They do.
goes
Some
down?
of them aren't turned on quite now, but yes, they move and make noise, but all while you're surrounded by the beautiful lights of Zoo Lights.
Jackie, what are the hours for Zoo Lights? Is it daily?
It is daily.
Okay.
We open, the first time ticketing slot is at 5:30 p.m.
Okay.
Zoo closes at 4, reopens as Zoo Lights at 5:30. And remember, If you want to see the animals, you got to come during the day.
Absolutely. So you get a little bit of time in between to kind of get everybody out, sanitize, and make sure that every health and safety protocol is up to par. You guys are so good. Don't go anywhere. Jackie, you don't go anywhere either. On Thursday night, the zoo does something even cooler for adults only. We're going to be talking about Brew Lights coming up a little bit later on the show, so we can cheers to that.
That's right.
That's coming up. Courtney, back to you guys in the studio.
It's such a great event. Lauren, thanks so much. We'll see you in just a little bit. Still ahead, if Thanksgiving plans are top of mind for you, we have tips to keep you and your family safe. And coming up, the heartfelt story of an 8-year-old rising above his diabetes diagnosis. Learn about the life-changing treatment options that can help next. Well, welcome back. You know, nothing prepares a parent for a life-changing diagnosis on their child, and that was the experience for one local family as their son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at just the age of 2. But with the help of UT Physicians team, now 8-year-old Ethan is happy and also a very healthy boy. Here with more is UT Physicians pediatric endocrinologist Dr. Michael Yaffe, along with Ethan's parents, Nolan and Victoria. A big welcome to all of you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, this is National Diabetes Awareness Month. And Dr. Yaffe, I'd like to talk with you. First of all, how common is pediatric diabetes?
Well, it's probably 1 in 600. So it's getting to be one of the most common chronic illnesses in the field of pediatrics.
And is this something that is genetically predisposed, or really can this happen to any child?
Well, it's an autoimmune disease, so it can happen to anyone. But if you have a strong family history, then yes, what you are saying is correct. It's genetically predisposed. So there is a big genetic influence, but in reality, any child can get type 1 diabetes.
And before we dive more into Ethan's story, doctor, if you can talk about when a patient's blood sugar gets too high or even too low. I mean, so many things can get into serious levels here.
Absolutely. I mean, the normal blood sugar, if fasting should be around 126 milligram per deciliter. When it gets higher than that as fasting, then the diagnosis of diabetes is confirmed when associated with elevated hemoglobin A1C, and of course, symptoms of diabetes, polydipsia and polyuria, increased thirst and urination. So with that, you can also get the autoimmune markers for type 1 diabetes to make a final confirmation, and voila, you have type 1 diabetes. So diabetes is the increased blood sugar. Type 1 diabetes happens mostly in children, young children, while type 2 happens either in obese kids or in older population. But in general, type 1 is the autoimmune diabetes for young children.
And let's bring in parents, Victoria and Nolan, to talk about Ethan. And as we know, Ethan is a strong, healthy boy right now. But I can imagine, Mom and Dad, when that diagnosis first happened, it was probably very scary for both of you.
It was.
And how
Yes.
how did you manage this? Because I know Ethan's been checking his own blood sugar for about 4 years now. So it's just part of life, but it's something that he had to really grow up to do.
That's right. And we worked with UT for many years. Thankfully, with Dr. Yafi as a very close friend for us, just showed us the best ways to test his sugar, where the ranges to keep it, helped us with everything along the way.
Adjusting to the new normal, as Ethan knows it now today. So Ethan, we see this video of you. This is you checking your blood sugar. Talk to us about this, because it's your part of life, but it's just something you have to do every day. Everything seems to be pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Sounds easy enough, for sure. Doctor, if parents have a newly diagnosed child, or they might feel like they are isolated and alone, but this is something that they can tackle and it is part of life, they just really need to take the time and understand this is the new normal.
Absolutely. I think the most important aspect is having vigilant parents. I think Ethan was extremely lucky to have wonderful parents who were able to detect diabetes symptoms very early on, and then help me to make the diagnosis. And then after that, it's a learning process. You know, the child and the family have to learn the concept of carbohydrate counting, how to test blood sugar on a daily basis, what to do when the blood sugar is elevated or low, and so on. So it's a continuous learning, life learning process.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like the BMX skills are pretty awesome, Ethan, in that picture there. Nolan, Victoria, Ethan, and Dr. Yafi, thank you all so much for your time today, and continued health, Ethan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you would like more information or to schedule a consultation, you can visit utphysicians.com or call 888-488-3627. Well, coming up next, Thanksgiving safety tips, how to plan a safe holiday dinner during the pandemic. And also, we're going to be joined by Keith, Christine, and Frank for a look at what is coming up on the news at 4. It's hot today. More Houston Life when we return.
I don't know.
Welcome back to Houston Life. I'm Courtney Savala. And Derek, I know Aunt Rob probably thought I forgot, but today's her birthday. Wanted to wish her a happy birthday today. I know she's watching in Arizona.
Oh my goodness, all the way from Arizona. Well, happy birthday, Aunt Rob. And also happy birthday to Carlos Hernandez, one of our team members here at Houston Life. Carlos works very hard, and we hope he's celebrating today. But in the meantime, Courtney, why don't we get to some of our viewer responses? Earlier in today's show, we were asking our viewers essentially, tell us a story about something that happened in your life, something you were able to accomplish when others said maybe you couldn't. This first comment I love from Alexandra. She came to the USA when she was 8 years old, learned English, and became a pediatric RN. Well done, Alexandra.
Fantastic. And listen to this one. Becky writes in, making it on my own after a divorce. To be fair, it was the ex-spouse who told me I wouldn't make it. Bless his heart. I'm with you, Becky. Congratulations.
Oh. You know what? A lot of people can probably identify with that. Debbie says she went from high school dropout to a doctorate in education, worked full-time, and went to school at night the whole way. Debbie, wow, what a great example. Hard work pays off, and there is certainly no shame in going back to school at any age.
Absolutely.
It is never too late to do that.
I know. These are all great stories. And I feel like when someone says you can't, it sort of lights the fire a little bit. I think that's what fuels the fire, right?
Yep. When someone says you can't, oh my gosh, wait, Courtney, you're the one who told me this. When someone tells you that you can't, it's because they couldn't.
Exactly.
Not because you can't. You absolutely can. Mm-hmm. So don't let their insecurities be projected onto you.
Absolutely.
That's baloney.
Amen. We are going to church today, Derek. Absolutely. Okay, you hold it down there in Studio LR, living room. We're going to check back in with you. Right now, we're going to switch gears and check in with Keith, Christine, and Frank for a look at what is coming up in the news at 4. We're feeling it today, guys.
I really feel like you're spot on with that.
Yeah, it's Inspiration Tuesday.
Yes,
absolutely.
Without a doubt. Very good.
It's also a very warm Tuesday. Some would say almost hot, relatively speaking.
Ooh.
Yes, especially with the relative humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that humidity.
It's right there in the mid-80s for a lot of us. Nice shot of NRG there. Take a look at these temperatures. I have 84, 86 in Sugar Land, 85 in Wharton, lots of 82s and 83s out there. Humidity's in play, so it feels just a little summery black out there. You can see, though, winds are beginning to shift. Look across the state. 72 in Dallas. 65 in Lubbock, 75 in San Angelo, 71 in San Antonio. So that tells you some relief is on the way. It's just going to be like molasses getting here. You're going to have to really wait until tomorrow. So this evening, it's still going to be a little on the humid side as we go through 84 at 4, 82 at 5, 78 and 76 at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. But the cooler air does get here eventually. Look at this. From 9 o'clock, it's 70 degrees through the 60s overnight to an overnight low of 62. And when you consider this morning, the overnight low was 71. That's some big improvement. So that's the good news. Not much rain to go with this. Let's talk tropics real quick. There's Ada out there in the Gulf. I'll track that. It looks like it's going to go toward the Florida Panhandle. That's coming up at 4, and that's Theta, believe it or not. That's going to continue to move off to the east toward Portugal. And then there is what looks like will become Iota, 70% chance. So a lot in the tropics as we head toward Thanksgiving. Can you believe it? Overnight relief is on the way. And then, look, I have a big weekend front to tell you about. You're going to love next week. So we'll talk about all of that. Remember when your mom used to say, I don't give one iota?
Yes.
Here comes one.
Who thought we'd get there?
Goodness.
Frank, thank you.
You bet.
So another story we're following this afternoon, the fate of Obamacare. The Affordable Care Act goes before the U.S. Supreme Court in a case that could overturn it. We're going to take a closer look at what's at stake and what it means for health insurance for millions of Americans.
The holidays, we know, can be a stressful time of year for some people. Coming up at 4, how to deal when the stress gets heightened, and the things you can do ahead of time to relieve that anxiety.
And speaking of the holidays, specifically Thanksgiving, have you ever had a disaster cooking in the kitchen for the holiday? If you haven't, maybe you know somebody who does. Well, now there's insurance for that. It is a joint effort between Progressive and Whole Foods. How this works and what you're entitled to recover if you do have a disaster in the kitchen, Courtney, on Thanksgiving, which I feel like there's been a time or two in my household, for sure.
I don't cook at all because it would be an absolute disaster no matter what happens.
And I'm going to say it usually involves frying a turkey. That never turns out, whether it's raw or something is, tips over and fires. I don't know. It's all bad.
People forget to thaw their turkey out.
Yes.
Because if you don't start like now,
Right.
Like yesterday?
It's gotta be frozen.
I've also had the Christmas vacation turkey where you carved into it. It was nothing but air. So, that's when you take out Chinese food. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I might be signing up for that insurance. Okay, we'll see you in just less than 30 minutes.
All right.
And with Thanksgiving, of course, right around the corner, you may be wondering if hosting a small gathering is a safe idea. Our next guest says, if you must, make sure to take precautions and keep in mind 3 simple tips. Here to help is home improvement and lifestyle expert and our friend, Catherine Emery. Hi, girlfriend. How are you?
I love it. You said it perfectly, because you know what? No matter what, we want to make sure our home is clean this season. And what are we doing the most this season?
Washing
right?
our hands, yes.
Washing our hands. So go touchless with your hand sanitizer. This is Sense and Dispense. It's a touchless, battery-powered unit that comes with a refillable ethyl alcohol-based gel sanitizer with glycerin and vitamin E. So it's got that 70% alcohol content, Court, that we all need. So it's going to kill those germs. But that vitamin E and glycerin, it's going to make sure that our hands don't dry out. It's not sticky. It has a light, pleasant scent. So when the bottle is empty, as you can see here, it's so easy just to lock in a new one. And then there you go. See how easy to dispense it? Each of those refill bottles has about 400 dispenses. So that'll last a couple months. So, and I love that battery power, because you can turn it on and off. So you can bring it in your car with you, a small workplace. But like you said, at home, just a great thing to have. And I don't know if you know, but that ethyl alcohol is what prevents that, that really harsh smell where you feel like you should be drinking it on a Saturday night.
Yes.
That's isopropyl alcohol.
Okay.
So this has everything that you need in it. And you can find this at Lowe's, Sense and Dispense. Just a great way. Go touchless, right?
Absolutely. It's great to just keep outside, too. If you're doing like a driveway, socially distant with some friends, that's a great thing to have on hand. Okay, let's talk about the latest when we're talking about cleaning technology.
So I wanted to introduce you to Microgold Multi-Action Disinfectant Antimicrobial Spray. It is EPA tested and proven to kill the coronavirus within 3 minutes. So you can use it on all hard surfaces in your home. So countertops, doorknobs, faucets, remote controls, light switches, throughout your bathroom and kitchen. So disinfectants will kill microorganisms on contact, but as soon as they dry, that's when cross-contamination happens. So Microgold's the only solution that has both a disinfectant and an antimicrobial that's tested and proven to kill the COVID-19 virus. So Courtney, this is awesome, because this is strong enough. It's hospital grade, but you can get it for your home. And it's just a great way. That antimicrobial is just such a great thing in there. So if people want to learn more, they should go to getmicrogold.com. But just a great new product this year for overall home health.
Fantastic. Okay, I've been looking at one of these, a humidifier. This is good for clean air at home.
Absolutely. Everybody needs a humidifier no matter what. Get a humidifier that provides clean mist technology. So here, this is the Air Innovations digital top fill humidifier, and I'm going to list a few things that I love about it. Number one, it has a permanent ceramic filter. So that ceramic filter, as you can see here, it removes impurities to make sure that you are breathing that clean mist technology. The tank and the base are antimicrobial again here, so no germs can grow in it. It's got a really convenient top fill design. So you fill it once, and then that will last almost 2 weeks of sleep. So you don't have to keep lugging it back and forth to the sink with that top fill design. And you can see, you can put it in any room. It's got these little nozzles. You can point them where you need it most. It's got the remote control. So that's by Air Innovations. That antimicrobial, I love filling it up once and not worrying about it for a couple weeks, right?
Fill it up and forget it.
And then you don't have to worry about any mold or germs or anything growing inside it. So just a great way to keep your home space healthy all season long. It's cold and flu season. We all want to stay healthy.
Absolutely. And from start to finish, Catherine, you always have the best products for sure, tried and tested. Catherine Emery, it's great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me always, Courtney.
And happy holidays to you. And
You
as
too, Courtney.
always, for a list of the featured products, check out our website. And still ahead, advice to help you style your life and achieve your goals. What 5 things you can do now to stand out on those Zoom calls. Plus, Joe Sam is standing by with a cool story for Houston.
Yeah, that's right. Super pumped up about this. Being a big movie junkie myself, a big-time Houston director and producer duo are bringing the lights, cameras, and action to H-Town with a new film. I'll tell you all about it when Houston Life returns.
Well, quarantine and Zoom may have you taken a hit in the fashion and beauty department, at least maybe from, here up we're okay. One lifestyle expert is now bringing her tips to you in her new book, Aim High. Joining us now is fashion and beauty correspondent and author Sydney Sadik. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I love this because you've been on the Today Show, front row at Fashion Week, a spokesperson for Olay, and now you've taken everything you've learned and put that in your new book, Aim High. I love that, because why aim here? We got to aim up here.
Always. And I feel like the notion of aiming high is even more important now more than ever. Just because we're in a pandemic doesn't mean that we still don't deserve to feel and look our best. And I truly believe that.
I love this. Okay, I'm looking all around you because you have the perfect Zoom setup right here. And I love that your book's tagline is how to style your life and achieve your goals. So how does that really translate to the life that we're living today?
So it's obviously super interesting because everything that we're doing these days is from the waist up. So I always say, don't worry as much as what goes on below where the camera can see, but really make a statement first of all on top. It's all about drawing that attention to the upper portions of our bodies and still dressing in a way that makes us feel like we want to go after our goals, because I truly believe that the way we dress affects our moods.
It really does. And I feel like when you look good, you feel good, right? I mean, I know that's an old saying, but it has so much power to it. Let's talk about some of the tips that you have for us, that many of us are using Zoom, we're on FaceTime, we're having happy hours, maybe people are even first dating over this. What are some of the big things that we need to do?
Let me tell you, that is the only kind of dating that I have done since March. But it's true. We really, again, want to make a statement on the upper portions of our bodies. And the way that we can do that is with a statement top, whether it's a really great color, a pattern, structure. It's really just making that statement with that top layered piece. And it's super easy to do.
And also you say stay away from like the shiny fabrics, no sequin, because you have to really think about the lighting and that hitting, right?
So you really want to refrain from any fabric that will sort of have a shine, that'll have a glare. It's good to stick with something that really is a little bit more solid. So after you bring on your color, that's when you can then go for that fabric that really just looks great on camera. But a cotton, a wool, again, anything that doesn't reflect light is always great. And my fourth tip is always to accessorize. There is nothing like an awesome statement hoop earring or a chain necklace, which we're seeing a lot of these days throughout quarantine. These accessories can easily take up any outfit from drab to fab, and it doesn't look like you're trying too hard. And I think that's what's super key, especially if you're on meetings or you are doing some virtual dates. You want to look put together, but not like you put so much effort into it.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the ring light.
Yes.
That is my lifesaver. That is the one accessory that never goes out of style. To have that great shining light on your face is just the best way to make sure that you're camera ready and good to go for your Zoom calls.
It really is remarkable. Even if you're sitting by a window, it really does help. It kind of just adds that extra highlight to the face. And this works for men and women, not just women. Sydney, you've had some really great tips. And by the way, if you do want to get a copy of her book, Aim High, you can head to sydneysadek.com for a link to purchase. We appreciate your time, Sydney.
Thank you so much.
Great to meet you.
Thank you.
And if you are looking for an action-packed film with a bit of drama, romance, and everything in between, the Narcos sub is here to entertain. Joe Sam is joining us now with that.
Yeah, Courtney, so I had so much fun going out there and talking to the director and the producer to get an idea of what this film was about. So it's all based here in Houston, and what's really cool about it is it has a lot of action, drama, and everything that you want to get to snuggle up with that cuddle buddy and enjoy this movie. Check it out.
We will let them go. If you were smart, stay out of my way.
We're taking you behind the scenes of Narcos. There's going to be a lot of thriller, a lot of action, and we're meeting not only with the lead actor, but the director and producer and so many more that's a part of this film. It's time to meet up with Tom right now, the lead actor in the movie, and this is going to be such an incredible movie. We've already seen a lot of the acting behind the scenes, the stunts, all of the weapons that are used throughout the scene. This is going to be something fun for everybody to check out, right?
Oh, 100%. It's a lot of fun. So there's a lot of action. It's got pretty much everything that you would want in a movie. Action, love, drama, everything, explosions.
What goes through your body when you see yourself up there on the screen and you see that you actually put this character? Do you even believe the character that you put on camera?
No, I mean, it's super surreal, right? It's to see me on a what? It's super cool. It's amazing. You know, you get all the feels. You're excited. You're a little bit nervous. You're eager. You know, it's everything. So I'm just truly blessed that, you know, working with an amazing director, Sean, working with Derek, the producer, to put this together, them having faith in me, working with all the other actors, it's just been a blessing.
And what's also been a blessing is being able to shoot here in Houston, featuring areas like Kemah and South Texas.
We're very proud of this film because it is a Houston-based film almost in every respect. Now we have some big name stars from LA, but other than that, myself, the director, most of the cast and crew are all from Houston, but this is a real phenomenon where the drug cartels either build their own submarines or acquire old submarines, and they use them to evade radar and ship drugs and other illegal things to the U.S. So the film is based on real events. It's a fictional story of the narco sub coming out of South America, traveling to Key West, Florida, and various characters trying to stop it and intertwine with that.
Unfortunately, I was then intertwined in a few stunts of my own, but the director, Sean Welling, says the ultimate message is to simply
fostering the youth in Houston. That's one thing our executive producer wants us to do, an opportunity for the youth to do exciting things in the industry. But the other thing I would say, advice-wise, get out there and make a film. Tell a story. Finish it. I say the only bad film is a film that doesn't get done.
Very, very important message there. Now, the official movie will be released in January of 2021. I'll have a link posted on our website, HoustonLife.tv, so that you can follow up with the Houston-based film crew for more of their productions and maybe get your chance to be in the films as well. Courtney, I can tell you right now, after that stunt, they probably wouldn't want to put me in any of the films.
I don't know. You look pretty good. We'll have to see if it makes the cut.
Yeah, I don't think it will.
Great job. Thanks a lot. We're going to head back now to the zoo where Lauren Kelly is out there checking out zoo lights. What do you have coming up for us, Lauren?
Yeah, you guys, more details on this weekend's big kickoff for Houston Zoo Lights and their adults-only event, Brew Lights, when we come back. Houston Life will be right back in 2 minutes. So aside from the fabulous lights down at the Houston Zoo for Zoo Lights that kick off this Saturday, also they have a new addition, Jackie Wallace. Why don't you tell us about the bubbles that we can see now?
Here in the Enchanted Forest, you will be greeted with smoke bubbles, as you can see from all around us.
Which, by the way, we've been standing here for like 30 minutes. I can't get over the bubbles.
Stop popping them. Can't stop.
So there's so many lights to see. There's dragons. There's just different themes all over the zoo, and you guys have outdone yourself again this year. Tickets are online, but I also want to mention that Brew Lights is happening for adults this Thursday. That was the most socially distant we could do. Tell us about it.
Yep. So Thursday is Brew Lights. This will be the second year we're doing Brew Lights. It is 21 and up, so no kids at the zoo that night.
This is not us being excited about that. We're just celebrating 2020, okay?
So they've got St. Arnold's beer, like we have our Christmas ale right here.
Okay.
And also this year we have seltzer. Gotta have the claws.
Oh, the White Claws. That is the Santa Claus at the Brew Lights this year.
Santa Claus Brew Lights is the White Claw.
Okay.
As well as wine. So there's something for everybody. Tickets are on sale now at houstonzoo.org. And again, no kids, 21 and up.
What time does that event run for on Thursday?
It starts at 5:30 and goes till 9.
And you get some drink tickets along with your general admission
ticket?
ticket?
So your admission to Brew Lights includes 2 drink tickets of your choice.
That's fabulous. And you get to see all these wonderful lights because the sun will be down, the brews will be flowing, and you know, there's nothing better than getting bubbles with actual stuff in them and seeing all of these wonderful dragons while you're walking around the Houston Zoo for Zoo Lights. I couldn't ask for a better Thursday night and into the weekend as well. So Jackie, thank you for the information. HoustonZoo.org/events/Brew Lights is where you can get those. Cheers. We can't wait to be a part of it. Cheers, Courtney. We're sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers, Lauren. Great to see you. And we'll be back with a look at what's coming up on tomorrow's show. Oh, welcome back. What a fun show we had today.
Oh, it's been so fun. And Courtney, I got to tell you, it's really frustrating being at home and not being able to chime in on some of these conversations. First of all, Catherine Emery, our lifestyle expert, earlier today, I was using one of those drill bit brush attachments that goes onto a drill to clean the shower. Learned it from Catherine Emery. Genius, save time, save money. And then also, of course, the zoo, you know, Zoo Lights, one of my favorite things. My nieces still talk about it from 2 years ago.
I know. You got, y'all, Brandon has to get better. We will have like a little field trip when everybody's better and we'll get out. We need to ice skate. There's all these things that we have to do.
I cannot wait to mask up and get out of this house eventually.
Absolutely. I know. I'm working on my White Claw delivery for you. By the way, I do want to tell everybody what we have coming up for tomorrow's show. Our resident thrill seeker, Joe Sam, he is proving the sky is the limit. See how he fares in the air as he takes flight at a local hang gliding school. Plus, Law and Order SVU is back for an all-new season. Actors Ice-T and Jamie Gray Hyder share a peek of what to expect when the show returns this Thursday. Fun stuff and fun show planned on Wednesday. So thanks for joining us. We're going to see you tomorrow. You take care, Derek. Have a great day.
And you as well.
We'll see you soon. Stay healthy. We're going to toss it over to Keith and Christine for the news at 4. And I know you guys have a big one planned today.
We do.